A New York Times investigation, a publication for the record that is notoriously, let's just say, not pro-Israel, has revealed new details showing a pattern of rape, mutilation, and extreme brutality from Hamas against Israeli women in the October 7th attacks. At first, she was known simply as the woman in the black dress. In a grainy video, you can see her lying on her back, dress torn, legs spread, vagina exposed. Her face is burned beyond recognition, and her right hand covers her eyes. The video was shot in the early hours of October 8th by a woman searching for a missing friend at the site of the rave in southern Israel, where the day before, Hamas terrorists massacred hundreds of young Israelis. One family knew exactly who she was, Gal Abdush, mother of two from a working-class town in central Israel, who disappeared from the rave that night with her husband. Based largely on the video evidence, which was verified by the New York Times, Israeli police officials said they believe that Miss Abdush was raped, and she's become a symbol of the horrors visited upon Israeli women and girls in the October 7 attacks. A 2-month investigation by the Times uncovered painful new details establishing that the attacks against women were not isolated events, but part of a broader pattern of gender-based violence on October 7th. Relying on video footage, photographs, GPS data from mobile phones, and interviews of more than 150 people, including witnesses, medical personnel, soldiers, and rape counselors, the Times identified at least 7 locations where Israeli women and girls appeared to have been sexually assaulted or mutilated. Look at this map. Here are the 7 locations that were identified. Such a broad range of places, clearly coordinated, part of the plan of Hamas to brutalize and terrorize Israeli women and burn into the psyche of all of Israel. The Times interviewed several soldiers and volunteer medics who together described finding more than 30 bodies of women and girls in and around the rave site, and in 2 kibbutzim in a similar state as Miss Abdush's, legs spread, clothes torn off, signs of abuse in their genital areas. Many of the accounts are difficult to bear, and the visual evidence is disturbing to see. The Times viewed photographs of one woman's corpse that emergency responders discovered in the rubble of a besieged kibbutz with dozens of nails driven into her thighs and groin. And shockingly, this is not even as bad as it gets. This report revealed such horrific atrocities that I have to spare you further graphic detail, but take my word for it, the most disgusting things you will ever see or hear were committed. And let me just finish the end of it. Does Hamas treat their own people better? It seems that sadly, that too is not the case. As has long been reported, a big part of the reason that the people of Gaza are not receiving enough aid, in addition to the fact that Israel is not letting in the full amount of aid needed, is also because Hamas takes much of the aid for themselves, often by violent means. Video released this week shows exactly that. In this video, we see Hamas opening fire on its own people who are trying to get humanitarian aid that Hamas is trying to keep for itself. Take a look at this video. In this horrific incident, a little boy was killed by Hamas, a little Palestinian boy. A Hamas police officer shot a Palestinian boy to stop him from approaching humanitarian aid in the area of Rafah on the southern Gaza Strip on Sunday. The boy later died of his wounds. Clashes broke out between Hamas terrorists and the family of the boy, Ahmed Bracha, in the area of Tel al-Sultan, north of Rafah.
They shot a baby, 3 months old, I think, in front of their mother. And I just put my hand on her shoulder and I was crying with her. And the 8-year-old boy, he's saying, "Mama, what are they going to do with us?" And she was so despaired. She told him, "They're going to kill us."
The Prime Minister of Israel's office says that Hamas has burnt children. The very disturbing images have in fact been shared on Twitter with a warning over there. And these images have also been shared to the U.S., to the visiting U.S. Secretary, Mr. Blinken. That is obviously a huge concern on atrocities against children, a point that has been coming up over the last 24 hours, which has now been confirmed.
من وين؟ هذا التفاح. تفاح، اوكي. قول لي قبل ما نبدا شو كانت وظيفتك؟ انت نخبة صح؟ شو كانت وظيفتك في النخبة؟
جندي.
جندي. من امتى انت في النخبة؟
تقريبا من 8 شهور لسنة.
فاهمك. لما دخلتوا شو كانت التعليمات تبعكم؟
احنا الزمرة تبعتنا كنا بس نكتب.
يعني
مش مهمتنا الخط، مهمتنا القتل.
شو قالوا لكم بدكم تقتل كل واحد كل اللي بتشوف؟
بتشوفوا بتقتلوه ويرجع بعدين.
ما في فرق بين رجال نسوان اولاد الكل؟